The Reds take on the Indians, 6:10 p.m. Eastern start time. The Cincinnati Reds are minus 170, totals 9.5 flat. The Indians are plus $1.45 for some money line cash. If you like Cleveland on the run line, they're minus $1.10, catching the 1.5. Sam Hentges pitching for the Indians, Luis Castillo for Cincinnati. And following a winning day on my Patreon website yesterday, we also improved to 3-0 in our last three extra daily picks on that Patreon page. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. We're also hitting at 69% in our last 13 Major League Baseball tier package picks on that Patreon site as well. And the good news is we have another Major League Baseball tier package pick going off here this evening. We currently have over 775 members who are signed up and active on that Patreon site. And if you want to see which one of these YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally, link for that page is in the description section below. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. And as hot as the Reds have been here lately, they've got a struggling Luis Castillo on the mound here today. He's just 6-10 on the year with a 4.09 ERA. Now the righty's also got himself a 1.39 whip. This Reds pitching staff is walking 4.1 batters a game. They're also in the bottom 10 in runs allowed per contest. They're taking on an Indians club who won 2 out of their last 3. They still have a winning record at Progressive Field. The Indians have they've won 2 out of their last 3 home games. Sorry, I was trying to remember what we're saying there. And I'll tell you what, they also find themselves 4-2 in their last 6 interleague contests at Progressive Field. This Cleveland lineup is in the top 10 in fewest home strikeouts at the plate. Jose Ramirez has hit 24 home runs and knocked in 65. The third baseman is currently 12th in the league in home runs. Despite some pretty bad numbers out of Sam Hentges, he still averages over a strikeout an inning. Now, total-wise, Cleveland went 60% to the under in their last 10 outings. They also saw 4 out of their last 6 interleague contests at home stay under the number. Meanwhile, Cincinnati went 3-1 to the under in their last 4 away from home. I'm going to lean toward the Cleveland Indians plus 1.5 and the under 9.5 runs. Next ball game, Brewers, Cubs, 8:05 East. The Milwaukee Brewers are minus 215, totals 9. Freddie Peralta for Milwaukee. Alec Mills for Chicago. Now, Mills has a 4.41 ERA and a 1.44 whip. The Cubs have also lost their last 4 straight at home. And they also have a losing record against divisional opponents. This Chicago lineup is in the bottom 5 in hits on average per game. They're also averaging nearly double-digit strikeouts a game at the plate. They're taking on a first-place Milwaukee club who won 76% of their divisional road games this year. Milwaukee also allows the fewest runs per contest on the road than any other team in the league. They're holding their opponents to just 6.5 hits a game when they travel. Freddie Peralta's 8-3 on the year, 2.21 ERA, and a .89 whip. The righty's also got himself 154 strikeouts. And speaking of strikeouts, this Brewers pitching staff is averaging double-digit strikeouts a game. Now, total-wise, Milwaukee went 60% to the under in their last 10 contests. Chicago's 29-20 to the under against the NL Central. I'm going to lean toward the Milwaukee Brewers minus 1.5 and the under 9 runs. Next ball game, White Sox, Twins, 8:10 Eastern first pitch. The Chicago White Sox are minus 190, totals 9.5. Lucas Giolito for Chicago, Bo Burrows for Minnesota. Now, Burrows has just 4 1/3 innings of work under his belt this year. He's got an 8.31 ERA and a 1.85 whip. The last place Twins are 16 games under 500, and they're in the bottom 3 in runs allowed. They're taking on a first-place White Sox team who wins over 61% of their divisional contests. This White Sox lineup's also in the top 5 in road scoring. Jose Abreu's second in the majors with 83 RBI. Meanwhile, Timmy Anderson's batting .296, which is 16th in the league. The Chicago lineup averages nearly 4 walks a game at the plate. Meanwhile, defensively, the Chicago pitching staff leads the Bigs in striking batters out on the road. They're holding their opponents to just 3.8 runs a game. Lucas Giolito's fanned 145 batters this year. He's got 8 wins along with a 1.16 whip. When it comes to the number in this one, Chicago's 13-10 to the over in their divisional road games. Meanwhile, the Twins have gone 38-15 to the over against the AL Central this season themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Chicago White Sox -1.5 and the over 9.5. Next matchup, Yankees-Royals, 8:10 p.m. East. The New York Yankees are -175, totals 10. Jameson Taillon for New York, Carlos Hernandez for the Royals. And speaking of Hernandez, he's averaging over 1.2 strikeouts an inning. He also has a 3-1 record. The Royals have won 3 out of their last 5 ball games. They also have a winning record at Kauffman Stadium this year. This Royals lineup actually ranks in the top 10 in the majors in home hits. Salvi Perez has 27 home runs and 60 RBI. The catcher is actually 5th in the league in home runs. This Kansas City lineup is also in the top 3 in fewest strikeouts at the plate. They're taking on a New York club who's in the bottom 10 in scoring, bottom 10 in hits. This Yankees club is averaging only 3.9 runs a game when they travel. They're also averaging nearly double-digit strikeouts a game at the plate. Jameson Taillon comes into today's start with a 4.04 ERA and a 1.21 whip. When it comes to the scoring in this one, New York went 8-2 to the under in their last 10 ball games, 3-0 to the under in their last 3 on the road. Meanwhile, the Royals went 80% to the under in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Kansas City Royals +1.5. And the under 10 runs. But that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup. It is going to be Marlins Padres, 10:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Pods are -240, total 7.5. Joe Musgrove for San Diego. Zach Thompson for Miami. As good as Thompson's numbers have been this year, he's got himself just 2 wins thus far in the season. The Marlins are on a 3-game losing streak, 3-7 straight up in their last 10. Miami's winning only 34% of their road games. And they're striking out just 7.5 batters a game when they travel. Meanwhile, offensively, Miami's lineup scoring just 3.9 runs a game. They're taking on a San Diego club who won 4 out of their last 6. And they also win over 62% of their ball games at Petco Park. This Padres lineup is in the top 10 in scoring. And they're led by Manny Machado, who's 6th in the majors with 77 RBI. Meanwhile, pitching-wise, the Pods are fanning over 10.2 batters a game on their home field. Joe Musgrove has 139 strikeouts on the year, 2.87 ERA, and 7 wins thus far. The righty's also got an impressive .97 whip. Now, total-wise, San Diego went 80% to the over in their last 10 ball games, 6-2 to the over in their last 8 at home. Meanwhile, the Marlins saw their last 3 straight road games get over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the San Diego Padres -1.5 and the over 7.5 runs. Of that, guys, now we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my Patreon website. I like Cleveland +1.5 under 9.5 runs. Milwaukee -1.5 under 9. Chicago White Sox -1.5 over 9.5. Kansas City +1.5 under 10 runs. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 3-0 in our last 3 extra daily picks on my Patreon website. We're also hitting at 69% in our last 13 Major League Baseball tier package picks on that Patreon page as well. I'm going to lean toward the San Diego Padres -1.5 and the over 7.5 runs. Of that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that goes to Gus Sarikos, who said yesterday, "Brock, you're doing a damn good job today. Well done." And I'll tell you what, Gus, I certainly appreciate you taking the time out to send me that Incredibly kind message, but hey, we got more work to do today. And I know we can enjoy our victories, but if we're going to get back on the saddle, we got to dial it in and focus and get the job done here today. But Gus, thank you for the comment. Certainly appreciate you taking the time out for me yesterday. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my Patreon website, just keep in mind, Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership, you're actually going to get access to that content all the way through the end of August. I always say in most of my videos, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.